I'm so happy the new Battlefield 1 night map isn't just another open field.
Oh, thank God!
I've been in and out of Battlefield 1 over the last few months, but not for a lack of want. I know the Battlefield community is pretty split on Battlefield 1 at this point, but I'm on the fan of side. It's just so many games are fighting for my attention. But I felt now was the time to dust off Battlefield 1 and check out some of the new stuff. Oh, and hey, would you look at that? 2 new night maps. Perfect. So first we went to France in NIVELLE Nights, a map filled with trenches as far as the eye can see, and kind of the first trench-focused map in Battlefield 1. Before the launch of Battlefield 1, many people were complaining about why are there so many automatic weapons and where are all the trenches. While many maps that launched with the game had trenches sprinkled here and there, they were never really the star of the map. Well, have no fear, trench fans, your day has finally come. Well, it came a few months ago. But it's here! So how was the map received? Here's the thing. In this video, I wanted to go in depth on both of the new night maps, but literally no one is on NIVELLE Nights right now. Now this might just be because of the new night map launching just a few days ago, but it also speaks to how NIVELLE? I'm gonna stick with NIVELLE, even though it's not right. We'll get into names later, but it also speaks to how many people like NIVELLE Nights. From the bit I've played, I'm not a fan, but that's just my taste. I like fast action and lots of cover on my Battlefield maps, as we'll see in a second. But NIVELLE is basically the opposite. A large open field above the trenches and a bunch of boring hallways below. I get nothing out of levels that are big open fields with buildings just put down here or there. And while Battlefield 1 is still better than some games at having these types of maps, it still has a few. But the star of NIVELLE, whatever, is supposed to be those trenches, and man, they certainly feel like a bunch of hallways. They remind me of those similar cement trenches in Battlefield 4, but those were long and flat for a reason. Why don't these trenches have some grit, some holes to hide in, some boxes to use as cover? They feel so boring because when you get rid of the World War I visual fluff, you are left with a series of actual hallways. And the winner of every gunfight is just who turns the corner first. While some of the objectives are fun and have that cover I was looking for, the core of the map and the way that you get to those objectives is ultimately boring. Oh, and I'll touch on the night setting at the end of the video, but on this map it doesn't change much except for you don't get sniped from a million miles away because people can't see you. And hey, this wouldn't even be a problem if there was just cover placed between the objectives, but let's get to a map that has just that. Okay, before we get into this section, I'm calling the new night map PRISE, because it's the only part of the name I can even say. The world doesn't need to conform to my inability to say words, but if you want people to bring up your game in casual conversation, maybe pick a name that can easily be said in conversation for most of your audience. So I don't have to keep calling it the new night map, I'm gonna call it PRISE. Let's fucking PRISE, I'm gonna fucking PRISE, let's go. PRISE was just released, and I wrote that down and it rhymed, and I'm definitely not proud of it. After only playing on it for like a week, PRISE is already on my top 5 maps of all time in Battlefield 1. And you might be able to tell why when I tell you my number 1 map. Amiens, which has a simple name I was able to say, is my favorite map in Battlefield 1. Coincidence? Probably. But I like the close quarters nature of Amiens since it takes place in a city environment. And guess what PRISE is?
It's a city map!
Shut your bitch ass up!
Oh, sorry, I forgot it was morning.
PRISE is a map that definitely echoes Amiens, and that's probably because many of the assets are ripped right from that map. But that's okay, I don't need every building to be unique as long as the map plays well, and it definitely does. looks to be half the size of Amiens, if not less, and that's because all of the middle fluff where the train usually goes is gone. No open area on the map, and wait a minute, does this map even have a behemoth? Are behemoths gonna be just like Levolutions in Battlefield 4? Oh, the original maps have them. They're gonna change the way you play Battlefield, and later DLC maps just like whatever. So PRISE is designed in a cross pattern with all of the objectives centering on C in the middle. It looks like something out of League of Legends, but hey, that also means it was specifically designed. Some maps in Battlefield can feel like a bunch of random placements that are so far apart that they don't really affect one another. But in PRISE, the action keeps flowing. Either this way, or this way, or sometimes everyone moves into the center, or goes from the center to another objective. Point is, the objectives are close enough that I feel like I'm hopping from one to another every minute or so. And that's the kind of action I like in my Battlefield. That's why I think there's a divide in the Battlefield community right now between Battlefield 1 and Battlefield 4. People who enjoy Battlefield 1 get what they're looking for in maps like PRISE, an infantry-focused, close-quarters, high-action environment. People who like Battlefield 4, on the other hand, seem to enjoy a more open map that involves a slower pace that requires the use of vehicles to get from objective to objective. These are two very different styles, and no one's wrong for preferring one over the other. Battlefield 4 is like the PUBG of Battlefield games, a slower time to get to the conflict, but when it happens, it's intense. And Battlefield 1 is, for more of a lack of a better comparison, the Call of Duty of Battlefield. And yes, obviously they are way different from those games, but I'm just saying that's the way they seem to lean from the center point that is pure Battlefield action. Anyways, the point of all that was just to say people have different tastes, so don't get too mad at me when I say I fucking love PRISE. It's pure close quarters action, going in and out of buildings, up staircases, into two-story buildings to overlook the action, on roofs to overlook even more of the action! And best of all, there's cover! When I want to go to the next objective, I can slowly move between different points, hide behind this box or use this wall. I'm sorry to make such a big deal about this, but that's really just how much I hate open field maps. I know I said the action always flows, but that also means if two teams push for the exact same objective, it can be a fun type of front line to hold for a bit. This happened to me today at Objective B. This alley here served as a fun choke point where enemies kept coming through and we kept holding them back. It went back and forth for a while until a squad from the enemy team flanked us and we lost the objective.
We have lost objective butter.
But hey, it was a moment that I remembered that stood out, and that's important to me. On more open maps, I feel like those exciting moments happen much less, because people are spread out too much, and there is a lack of fighting together as a team. Listen, maybe I'm way off, but let me know if anyone else feels that way. Now let's finally touch on the whole night thing, and it might be telling that I haven't really had to bring it up until now. Night maps don't really add much in Battlefield 1. NIVELLE has a small change to the normal gameplay because it's really dark. But on PRISE, it's just an early morning and doesn't change much. Both in Battlefield 4 and now Battlefield 1, night maps were touted as this new feature that would change the game the way it's played forever. Wah! But that was infinitely more accurate in Battlefield 4. 4 had attachments to guns that complemented the idea of night maps. Night vision scopes, flares with the express purpose of providing light, and the simplest attachment, a flashlight. There, adding any of these things to your character changed how to approach a situation. Keep the flashlight off and stay hidden, or light up the area and expose the enemy. Look, it's not mind-blowing or anything, but it made sense to use these attachments at night. But in Battlefield 1, you can see just how little sense a night map makes with the amount of lights they had to place everywhere for it to even work. In Battlefield 4, there were a few lights that made sense in the location, a street light here or there. But on PRISE, every corner has a lamp or something, and it's still set in the morning. And I know what you're thinking, but Anthony, it's World War I and they didn't have flashlights and night vision, and I get that. I'm not saying strap a lantern to your gun, like, just tape it. But if you're going to make a night map, it should also work with the tools the game gives you, and right now, it's just another map. An awesome map with a dark gimmick. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I haven't done anything on Battlefield in a while, and I thought it was time to return to the series. I want to kind of make more videos after this, but this was kind of stepping my toes back into the Battlefield games. Sorry, I'm losing my voice at the end of this recording. Like, I feel it, it's coming. I'm drinking water, it's coming. But listen, let me know what you guys think about the Battlefield 1 night maps. Am I way off base? Do you guys love NIVELLE or NIVELLE or NIVELLE? I don't know how to say it. I'm sorry. I don't know French. I don't know. I was gonna say I don't know France. I don't know France. I've never been to France, but I also don't know French. I don't know other words. There goes my voice again. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed this video, please hit that like button to support the show and subscribe to the channel if you're not. And also consider supporting the show on Patreon if you want to be super awesome. Now here is a special thanks to everyone who donated over $5 on Patreon, and my voice is about to change a lot because I've recorded this before. XAVIER Charlotte, thank you. Luke A. Vaughter, thank you. Jay Bodane, there we go, I got the name this time, thank you. Carl Skikes, thank you. Drew Iterator Rick, thank you. Julio Juarez or JJTube, thank you. Darian A. Mann, thank you. Eric G. Griggs TTV, thank you. This is new. Anthony's mother, I love you so much. SMOOCHUMS, thank you. TJ Grum, thank you. Omar Diaz, thank you. Riley Davidson, thank you. Mad Bradall, thank you. Paul Witowski, thank you. Cody Edwards, thank you. I am $2, thank you. And also thank you for the Naruto fidget spinner. It just spins. You guys want to send me stupid shit, send it to the P.O. Box, Neebs Gaming. I got bacon once. And Ryan O'Connell, Shadow Cloud, thank you so much. And Frederick Moeller, thank you guys so much for supporting the thing. This might be a little blown out, I just realized, but it's okay, right?